You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand.
Okay, welcome to the Village of Wappers Falls monthly regular meeting of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees. Today's Wednesday, June 11th. May you please stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, Board of Trustees, we are unable to recognize Christopher Morris tonight. He was unable to make it. We're going to reschedule it to July. Roll call. Mayor Huber.
Present.
Trustee McCormick.
Here.
Trustee Shimento.
Here.
Trustee Mosh.
Here.
Trustee Marshall.
Here.
Trustee Venka.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Village Attorney Lindars. Absent. Action on minutes. Regular Village Board meeting minutes, May 14th. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Workshop budget hearing minutes, April 28th, 25.
Get a motion? A motion? Pass.
Okay, that did not pass, did not move. Authorization to pay bills as per approved warrants.
Second.
Who was that?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 2925 of 2025, resolution authorizing modification and extension agreement with Royal Karting Service Company.
And that's only going up $2,000 a month, the way I read that, is that correct?
Would be correct.
Basically, the way it was brought up to me through the attorneys was the tipping fees.
Yeah, and
That
they're
was the plan.
okay,
And that's for how long?
till next year, 1 year, correct?
I think it's 1 year, right?
1 year extension. Did you make a motion, Bob?
No, I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
I abstain.
I'm employed.
Resolution for Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad, New York Scenic Byway nomination and corridor management plan adoption. Whereas the historic qualities of the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad, New York Scenic Byway, as described in the corridor management plan, and the surrounding areas have been appreciated and celebrated for over a century by the residents of New York State, as well as tourists, historians, artists, authors, and other visitors to the region. And it is this unique combination of the journeys of Harriet Tubman and those freedom seekers who traveled on the Underground Railroad that created a special sense of place that is vital in telling the New York story of the human desire for freedom and the historic sites they created during their journey to emancipation. And I have a motion to accept that
I'll make the motion.
resolution.
I'll second.
Make the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
John, can I say something as historian? Real quick. I'm going to find out who allowed that building to be torn down. As a little girl, I lived on South Avenue, used to hang out with Dr. McClyde's daughter, kids that around the area. And we used to go around that house a lot. One day, a little old lady opened the door and invited us in. We were a little bit afraid. We just knew it was an old house and an old lady. And we went in, and she said, let me tell you the story about this house. You ever heard of the Underground Railroad? I said, yeah, we studied that in school. She says, here, right in Wappingers Falls, we have a house. Would you like to see where the Underground Railroad was? Well, we were a little frightened because we didn't know who this lady was. She took us into the kitchen, she had a big rug, and she pulled the rug back, and there was like a trap door. And she opened it up, and you could just see down into the basements. I can't remember now whether there was a ladder there or not. She didn't invite us to go down there, but we were kind of frightened, you know, like the old fairy tale. She got to push all these little girls down there now. But she said, I want to talk to you about the Underground Railroad and why this house and this spot is so special. And then one day when I'm an old lady and I'm sick and I'm coming home from the hospital, my daughter's driving me home and I went by and the house was gone. And I don't know, we do have a historical society in the village. I think that's town property, isn't it, there?
And they just tore it down.
I don't know who allowed that building. I mean, it was falling apart, but that was an actual building.
Well, Brenda, thank you so much for sharing that with everyone.
Yeah.
We know that you've been the village historian for decades,
I love the village.
and I know you do. You remind me every so often about the records. Thank you for that, Brenda.
That's a true story, I didn't make it up.
Okay, thank you.
And you can take that to the bank.
Accept the resignation of Sean McGovern effective May 30th.
You get a motion? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Hire a groundskeeper, temporary position, $18 per hour. And if you're in agreement, I would need a start date.
Do we have a name of the person that's,
Charlie Rizzo.
because that's not here?
You were supposed to.
I thought the highway was gonna take care of what the previous man did.
We talked about it, no one really said anything.
Only one person applied for the position.
Only one person applied for the position.
I would like to hear from Tommy, if you would, Tommy, elaborate on that.
For that position, it could go up because, since we were taking a man away from our department, it's kind of hard to keep up with that. It was actually nice because he went around into the little parks while we were out doing jobs and just taking care of them, cleaning it up, you know.
Because there was 6 people down there, plus superintendent.
There was 7 people down there.
7, now there's 5.
Now there's 5 of us.
But
And
Ryan,
we're still doing the same tasks with the 5.
and Ryan and I spoke that we want to kind of expand the duties a little bit, like if something needs to be done in the boathouse,
Yeah.
clean the bathrooms or something, you know, you gotta go get something. So I don't think it should be just parks, I think it should be parks, I mean, you
Well,
know.
boathouse is considered a park, right?
Yes, so we want, and then Ryan and I, spoke about that, and then we both, offered to be, his go, you know, he can go to us.
All right.
I don't have a problem with Rizzo.
No.
Mr. Rizzo, I would make the motion to accept this.
I just have one more question,
Okay.
and that is, it doesn't say for how many hours of work, a
It's
week,
usually a part-time position, it's like 5 hours a day.
usually, or is it gonna
It
be
is
part-time?
5 hours part-time
Okay,
a day. It's
so
seasonal.
so seasonal is considered 5 hours a day?
Yeah.
Or 5 hours a
We
week?
can
or-
work, yeah, we're working them 5 hours a day. It's 20 hours a week.
Okay,
And it goes until, I think it's 6 months. And it goes until November's,
okay,
you know. But he'll pick up the branches and get the
yeah,
park ready for summer camp and stuff like that.
okay, gotcha.
We get a motion?
Bob motioned, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Secretary to the planning board.
I'll make a motion.
Can we table this until, executive session and come out and do it? Attorney would like to talk to us.
Do we need to?
No, we're gonna do it
Is the
now.
board okay to make this motion?
What is it?
What is the concern?
Planning board secretary.
Ian.
Yes?
I
Motion?
had,
Make the motion.
Hang on a second, because the lawyer's speaking.
yeah, there is an update that came. I'm not sure if the entire board has seen it or not, but we should my advice would be to have a short executive session on this issue before you vote.
I believe we're all have our minds made up. So why hold back? Let's get it done.
Well, we're gonna go into executive session now and talk real quick. We can vote after that.
Fine with doing that.
Okay,
Get a motion to go into executive session?
make the motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Who made it?
All in favor?
Who seconded it?
I did, yeah. It's not that.
The board has entered executive session. Please stand by. The meeting will resume when they return. The board has entered executive session. Please stand by. The meeting will resume when they return. The board has entered executive session. Please stand by. The meeting will resume when they return. The board has entered executive session. Please stand by. The meeting will resume when they return. The board has entered executive session. Please stand by. The meeting will resume when they return. The board has entered executive session. Please stand by. The meeting will resume when they return.
I have a motion to return back to the regular session.
I'll make the motion.
Motion.
Or second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sir, a motion to hire as planning board
Yes.
secretary.
I make a motion, Amber Gendres, full-time union position, higher rate, $23.50 an hour, plus one step for a total of $24.68 an hour, full-time union position.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I'd like roll call vote, please.
Okay. I can do that. Trustee McCormick,
Aye.
trustee Chimento,
Aye.
trustee Marsh,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Venka,
Aye.
trustee Smith.
Aye.
Carried. Carried.
Thank you.
Motion to approve hiring police officer Brian Levy as part-time police officer, reinstatement at last step held and seniority.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes.
By the way, I worked with him quite a bit. He's a very good officer, and I'm glad he's coming back.
Can I have a roll call vote on that?
Trustee McCormick.
Aye.
Trustee Shamento.
Aye.
Trustee Marsh.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Venka.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Carried. Motion approving the village attorney to write legislation amending Village Law, Section 148.20, Water Code, responsibility of owner, not tenant.
We get a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Rose.
Aye.
Who was that?
Rose. Opposed? Carried.
Motion approving the clerk to advertise for a highway superintendent.
Get a motion?
Can I make a motion to table that? Because I don't have access to the Indeed, and in order to post it, I need to log in.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can do it, then you can do it after you get the.
Oh, yeah,
Motion
that's
and
fine, yeah.
What are we doing now?
We're going, is there a motion?
I would like this,
Is there a second?
are we gonna have that a full-time position?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What is it now?
It was part-time. I believe that we have enough work in the village, and it always was full-time, and now somehow it dwindled away to part-time. Part-timers don't cut it right now, especially in that position.
The only problem I have with that is that insurance, health insurance is a hefty claim for full-timer employees, and it's really gonna bite us. It's heavy,
I understand
the
that,
load.
but it's
I don't
something,
think you were gonna find a part-timer to work there. So.
That's my only concern is the health insurance. Other than that, it doesn't.
well, let's see who we get. They might have a buyout.
All right, can we get a motion?
So moved.
Well, in order to advertise, you're gonna have to have a salary. You're gonna have to have, if the board's discussed that, and
We'll get all together on that and we'll talk with Ryan.
because that needs to be had in the advertisement.
Yep.
Okay.
You cannot post it on Indeed without having all of that information.
Correct. Ryan will have all that information.
So can we have a motion for me to go out and put it on Indeed?
I'll make the motion.
Should we do that in the newspapers? I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Who
Carried.
made that?
Ryan.
But
Okay, discussion, spray foam contract for the boathouse.
I would like to say something. Eventually, down the road, we're gonna end up doing it. But right now, we're kicking this can down the road because we have Mizzier Homestead is coming that needs work. So instead of kicking this can down the road and putting all our eggs in one basket, this is gonna be a hefty price for the Mizzier Avenue. So I would like to pick that can up and start carrying it and see if we can get over there and start getting stuff done.
This is the boathouse.
Bob.
Yeah, I know, but we can't put everything into the boathouse. That's what I'm saying. We're kicking a can down the road because we have a major expense coming up.
Has it been put out to budget yet? Have we got
Yes.
two bids on it?
They got some bids. I just have one thing on it. I mean, we're gonna spray foam the eaves of this thing and the ceiling's still open. So, I mean,
Yeah, but right now, you're running air conditioning. Right now, the air is going out the overhang, so at least
I know.
you're stopping a huge majority.
It would mitigate,
What
It's
would,
$3,000.
I
You're
understand.
gonna waste money on electric and run in heat for that air conditioner and let that,
It's running, the air conditioner's running right now?
no,
No,
air conditioning.
Ah,
it's gonna be running Friday.
Right, oh, Friday, yeah, only on the bench, right?
yes,
God
on
only knows.
events, yes.
The purpose of the spray.
Just the point is I'm just
I
afraid.
just want to understand what Bobby's talking
Of the
about.
roof.
Well, we have other,
So what you're saying is that you would prefer to do the roof and then see what's left over?
yes,
for the boathouse?
do what we have to do in the homes in Mizzier Avenue. Secure that place for once. We're kicking that can, nobody's picking it up, and we're eventually gonna bite us in the behind.
Well, so here's not the problem with the roof on Mezzier Homestead. We need to make it historically accurate. The Office of Historic Preservation says so. So I'm okay with doing it, and I talked with the head, Beth Devine, and we were talking about shingles that look like cedar shingles.
Timberline,
It would have to be plastic or a more durable material in order to be cost effective. And she's fine with that.
yeah, it would.
So Go ahead.
Timberline, they look like a regular wooden shingle.
You could get,
Yeah, we can't spend the money on the cedar shingles
No,
and then
but
replace them every what, 10 years, but
Right.
whatever it
they
is.
gotta be coated too.
Right.
so.
So, as much as I would like to do, the discussion about the spray foam contract, we got to the quote, it's $2,600, the one that we settled on. We have
you okay with that? You and Charlie okay with that?
that's the one, yeah, that's the one that he recommended, and that's the one that we were all talking about.
As long as we have money left over, because.
It would be coming out of recreation,
Okay,
because we have the money in there to enhance the parks.
$13,000.
That would be used to do.
okay, because Mizzier Park is gonna need work. I wanna make sure that gets taken care of.
So if we want to go on to it for next month and approve it next month, it's almost spray foam for the boathouse.
All right.
If we want to do that for next month, I'm fine with that, but I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention.
All right, so you want to table this next month then?
That's fine.
Well, we have the contract now, correct?
We do. We need to get it signed though, and then the guy can go down.
Well,
I'll make the motion to approve it.
I'll
I
second.
second it.
All in favor?
I've not seen the
Aye.
contract at all.
Opposed?
I sent this to
Oh.
you. This is
Carried.
the one I sent to you.
Okay, so you're not going to table it to July, you just did it, okay. Approval allowing our IT consultant to set up a laptop for water department to use during their sessions and allow trustees to use it as needed.
What's that again, John?
The computer, I'm gonna use it for water chair and for my trustee stuff.
All right,
Getting the laptop that Mary Morris had when she was the chair of the water.
All right.
We're gonna give that to him.
Get a motion?
I'll make it.
Wait, can we hold up? I can teach him how to use it. I could set it up for him.
What?
Hold-
His
hold-
laptop,
Set up already?
No,
I could set it up for
okay.
whatever he needs. We don't have
Make the
to.
motion that trustee Chimento sets it up for him.
We don't have to make a motion at all if he's going to do it.
that's right.
Okay, thank you. Approval external audit of all village offices, programs, and departments to ensure maximum efficiency. Trustee Chimento.
So I could have worded this a little better. This is basically going to be a forensic audit. I want to have this on, I want to hire someone outside and do it. Bob, if you want to
Yes.
elaborate more on this.
Yeah, instead of doing each, like the police department, the water department, the highway department, they're all union. So they're not acceptable to this, audit. And the way I was understood by another county that I spoke to that helped me out with it, if we do a forensic audit, it will cover the umbrella, it will cover the water department, the highway department, the police department. It's all under one. It just shows us where our money is, how much money we have, and where it's going out. Because right now, we need to get a grip on that. And that's why I want to call for a forensic audit.
Do we have a cost?
No, this is only just so the board is aware and.
Oh, okay.
aware that-
We'll have to put an RPF out.
Right, and that's what, we'll talk about that
Yeah,
too.
we talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is basically just so everyone has a heads up that this is where the ball's rolling.
I would just still like to make the motion that we do a forensic audit and whatever it takes for you.
Let's do an RPF. We'll get an RPF out. And we'll get pricing on it.
Okay.
Then we come back and make a motion.
Yeah, because I have a company I'd like to use too.
We can make a motion to go put an RPF out.
What's that?
We can make a motion to put an RPF out for this audit.
Yeah, then you get three.
Make it.
Yeah. So is there a motion for an RPF out for the audit?
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Oh,
second it.
sorry.
Was that Ryan?
Bobby first, me second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
We are in receipt of correspondence from William T. Garner, Engine Company Number 1. Voted to accept 2 new active members. Can I have a motion to accept that correspondence?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Mayor, Board of Trustees, that concludes the printed section of tonight's agenda. Mayor, do you want to open it up to the public?
We got the monthly updates.
Yeah, we do have monthly.
Oh,
updates.
okay.
And I have another thing that I'd like to discuss when everybody's done.
Okay.
Okay, Finance, Trustee Marshall.
Yes, that's where I wanted to ask for the audit, and we've already discussed that.
Police, trustee Marsh.
Okay. Sergeant Ludwig has provided me with the information from the police department for the month of May. Total service calls was 382, 8 arrests, 79 traffic tickets, 10 parking tickets, 5 larcenies, 1 drug complaint, 21 motor vehicle accidents, 8 motorist assists, 5 domestic disputes, 16 burglar or hold-up alarms, 24 medical calls, 10 fire calls, 9 other criminal investigations, 4 other disputes or fights, no use of force incidents, 13 properties of lost and found, and 6 calls to assist another agency. Also, I want to let everybody know that I had the generator at the police department checked out by the company, Peak Powers, and they found that the generator is fully functional and operational, and that it's put back into service. The fuses were put back into it. A test was done on it. It was operated. The backup switch, transfer switch operates as it should. So it will cover everything that it was done in the past. And also, there was a recommendation for a replacement of the battery, which started it. There was a minor oil leak at the oil cooler, so he recommended the oil cooler hoses to be replaced. And also, the valves have never been adjusted on the motor. It's got only 380 hours on it. So, I'm waiting to get a response from the company to let me know what it's going to cost to have that done. And then we can go from there. And if we find in the future that we can go with a larger generator, we will see if we can do it and afford it, because I've already asked for a quote for that to be done as well. So what is there works. It's still functioning. Matter of fact, tomorrow afternoon, it's supposed to start up by itself at 1:40 in the afternoon and do a cycle. So I may come by the police station and see if that is going on at that time. Also, police activity, patrol activity has been noticed by the residents in the first ward. And just to let the police department know that it's been appreciated that that is being done out there, and it's being noticed and recognized. So we thank you for doing that. Other than that, is there anything you'd like to add to this? Sergeant Ludwig?
No, I just want to say thank you for the 2 39-hour response. It's helped immensely. Still going to be looking to maybe get 1 part-time dispatcher, which next board meeting I'll bring up a name. I won't have time to look at some candidates and do backgrounds and whatnot. But overall, that's been going well, covering dispatch shifts. Our 2 in the academy are set to graduate June 27th, so once they get out, I can get them right into field training as far as police officers go. And then with Officer Levy coming back, and I did have a phone call from another person the other day expressing interest in a part-time police position, so things are rolling along.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have something to go with police. I got a letter from Ray C. Chase. He's the judge, of course, here. It's about the emergency side door. Please be advised that the side door of the court building is for police officers in court and business only. It is only used on emergency use only. Please, you people, with us, are not allowed in and out of that door. He wants it to remain closed. It's emergency door for the sheriffs, the state police, bringing prisoners in, and that's what it's for. So,
Give this to John Clark.
yes. Do you have that, John?
Yeah.
He's got a copy, right?
I got one too.
Let me read it so it's very clear to everyone. Please be advised that the side door at the court building, which is located over on that side of the building, halfway down, is for police and court business only. It is only used as an emergency use door and should not be used for daily use. The Honorable Raymond Chase, Justice. Period. That's it.
Period is right.
Thank you, Trustee Marshall.
Hopefully it'll go in effect ASAP as soon as possible.
That's effective immediately.
Yes.
Highway, Trustee Marshall.
Let me see what he. Oh, Tom, you want to say it?
No, you got it.
Okay, the field maintenance these guys were doing on the equipment, they picked the trash and the brush up, sewer water repairs they have done, and also they have done some signage, putting signage up and blacktop concrete around the catch basins on this road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the dump is cleaned up. And they took all the blacktop that they left here for us, Hudson, Central Hudson, and then the ground maintenance. And that's what I have for the highway.
Okay, fire, trustee Shamento.
Chief Greer, if you'd like to give an update.
Just a little update with it, just the calls come on. So year to date, we're up to 170 calls. This month for May, we had 40 total calls, 25 automatic fire alarms, 4 motor vehicle accidents, 2 CO alarms, 3 gas calls, 2 structure fires, and 5 miscellaneous or other assist calls. Gardner's Firehouse has been doing a great job getting extra members come down. We've gotten multiple members over the last month, so good for them with everything they're doing right now. We're happy to see that. We're just looking to see if anybody else at the end of the day, look, we are always looking for more members down at both firehouses at the end of the day as well. So if anybody that's willing to volunteer from down on a Monday night at 6 o'clock to the firehouse, if you have any interest. Is that it?
Jordan, that email you sent out to us about scrapping some stuff and doing that, that's all that stuff's already in your budget, right?
That should be in my budget currently, correct? Yeah, 68 is budget.
That's a surplus, what, and
As far as I'm concerned, it's in your budget. You guys run the department up there. You guys gotta do what you gotta do. I don't think you need to come.
I'm gonna need board's approval to look to surplus whatever we're looking to surplus. That's
Right,
the thing.
right.
Go in and-
That I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying as far as what you're trying to do up there, you come to us.
Yeah, we just,
And
we're gonna need board approval on a couple things as well. So that's really about it. Just-
You want to tell us what you're surplusing?
Yeah, so we're currently looking to repurpose one of our pieces of equipment. We have an older rescue truck currently, so we have one truck. We're looking to kind of go through and start basically, combining certain pieces of equipment that we can utilize instead of having. So we're looking to surplus a rescue truck. We're going to take the money from that, basically buy the electronic jaws of life, the battery power units, to upgrade on an older engine we have. This way, we're going to get rid of one piece of apparatus, put our money back into have less pieces of apparatus in our fleet to cut down our fleet maintenance costs. So we're basically going to be able to take the equipment, surplus the one truck, and it's basically going to cover everything for these electronic tools that we're going to need to upgrade on the new truck.
I mean, can we give him that approval now since he knows what he wants to do and he's gotta do it, he's gotta do it?
We can, we just gotta.
I would just like to table that till next month. If that's okay.
But
Guys, you have these items on for discussion. They're not noticed for any motion or any action. If you have it for discussion, the next meeting comes, we can prepare the resolution, you can provide the information.
We should have a fire advisory meeting either way.
That's,
beforehand.
yeah, and that's.
This way we're all.
There is a process that you guys have to follow.
I need to ask you a question about that push bar you took off.
Yes,
You still have that?
yes, we still have it.
Can you bring it down to highway garage
For,
and drop it off? Because we can see if we can either put it on either the vehicles that was used, the white one, or maybe it could go on this truck.
we just need to make sure it's paid for first before we do anything else with it.
It's not paid
I
for.
don't know if it's part of the light package, so.
We'll find out and let me know, please.
Okay. That's about it.
Thank you, Chief.
Anything else?
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Mayor Lake.
The gentleman has been out on the lake, sprayed the weeds, as you can see out there. And he'll be doing a few more applications throughout the summer, I think all the way up through August. So once a month he goes out and sprays weeds. Looking good this time of year. There was many weeds in the beginning.
Call it the golf course.
Yeah. That little island out there.
Yeah. And then also the dock too, we're looking.
Yeah, we're looking into putting in a new dock down on Spring Street. That one I think has done its time. It's starting to crumble, so we're looking to buy a new dock. We'll be using lake fund money on that, so not a cost really to the taxpayers. And that's about it. Unless you got anything. Trustee Smento?
No, I did I mean, like we said, that dock is in dire need of repair. We're looking to fix that one first, and then there's a secondary one that we haven't even discussed as of yet, where what was that, the weed eater used to go?
Yeah, over on, Roy Avenue.
So we'll discuss that after this one gets fixed up, but that one's next.
Right, safety. As the village safety manager, I have a team consisting of 4 people. We have an annual meeting with our comp carrier, they're called PERMA, every year. And one of my members, John Kozak, attended this year. It was 2 weeks ago, and brought back some good information from the meeting, of which some of that we'll be implementing over the next 12 months. That's all I had to report on safety at the moment.
John, could I say something? Life safety. I just wanted to know if we haven't made any progress on the rat infestation.
We are going to talk about that in about a few minutes.
Oh, you are?
The mayor's going to open it up for discussion.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Recreation, trustee Shemento.
So I have a couple updates. I handed the board a packet. This is a letter from Jackie Mueller that discusses the festival at the falls. They want to book it for next year, and to avoid the conflict with the run. That's just to advise the board. Additionally, we moved the Parks and Rec meetings. We used to have them together. There was a discussion that they wanted to be separated again. So we have the Parks meetings every second Tuesday and the Recreation meetings every third Tuesday of every month. I talked to the attorney, or I sent the attorney over a copy of draft rules and regulations for the parks, so that way we can get those implemented and codified. And then in this packet that I handed to the board as well, there's the pictures for an old inspection that was done in August of 2023. It got brought up to the board, I think, a year ago, and it didn't really go anywhere. So I would like to have a conversation on that and see what implementations we can do or fixes we can do, and prioritize them on what needs to get done first. Then finally, the need for trash cans at Fisherman's Park on the end of this road. I know it's outside of the village boundary, but I guess it's still taken care of and maintained by the village.
Do we have any extra ones down at Boathouse?
We don't, no, not ones that would be suitable for that.
All right.
But if we can get, well, that's what this, yeah.
I spoke with Charlie Ferry about that. He was supposed to order a bunch more for
Yeah,
Fisherman's Park, for a couple other places too.
okay,
So
so,
fishing area down where you were
I'll
talking about
reach out
putting
to
a
him
dock
too and
down
ask him,
there,
yeah.
so.
all right, perfect.
Yeah, and we need one at Temple, I will buy that.
Temple as well, yes.
That was on
That's the whole, the
list,
same
too.
order, I believe, too.
That's
yeah.
on the list for that Temple
Yeah.
Park.
But there's trippy, I got the picture and I remember we discussed it, the bottles being left over in Temple and then now there's bags all over at the end. So we'll kick that into high gear, I guess. That's all I have for recreation.
Kevin, I want to add to Mayor. Camp starts June 30th, and there's still room for signups. Applications are here in the village hall. And I'd like to bring John Tilichek in on recreation to help Charlie run all these events and stuff too. If you could figure out a spot, how to get him back in here, because we need help running these events.
All right. We got our first concert this weekend, this Friday.
So
That it?
That's at 6, correct?
John?
The first concert's at 6? The concert start at 6? 7? Sorry.
7 to 9.
Wait,
Just slip me in anywhere.
yeah, building department.
Okay. For 5-1 and 6-1, the permits were closed out was 19. New permits issued were 25, inspections are 93, and violations are over 22 of them. And they're coming in because they're working on Sunday and Saturday, and it goes because that building, that department was closed down. Basically, I was there myself with nobody for a month, so people started doing stuff on their own. And now they're just, that Max is there, he's catching up, and finally we're nipping it in the butt. But I think he's doing a good job. He is. And that's it. Thank you.
Water, trustee Marsh.
Okay. My name got put on there. The chairman is trustee Smith. However, I will let you know that what we've got going on at the water board meeting the other day, Monday, we discussed recommendations from the board on different laws that need to be modified in the village, which are going to go through the attorney. There was a discussion made to amend Appendix C of the fee schedule by Commissioner Plank. He's forwarded the fees, and we have to work on those as well. Okay, also discussions on the backflow preventers in the village that need to be tested that are overdue, and there's going to be a schedule of fines for the people that have not been doing that. These are on commercial properties that require those. The meters are still out there. We want to get new meters for our water department in the village. We have a USDA loan that we have to use, and we need to have the information come forward to use that loan. The green sand filter has been engineered, and that is in the works, and we have to move forward on that as well to improve our quality of water in the village. And I believe that covers pretty much everything with the water department, except also the generator for the water treatment plant for our pump stations also was in need of service. And I have the check went out with the same power company that did the police station, that they're going to service the generator at the water treatment plant as it's needed to operate our wells if the power goes out. We can't run on that solar field that sits there next to it collecting sunshine. We have to have a backup with it. So that has also been done, and that is in the works at this time. That pretty much covers everything with water right now.
Thank you, Walt.
Yeah.
Sewer, tri-municipal. I'm a member of that board. I'm a commissioner. There are three of us. And we have a serious problem with capacity. Excuse me. We have a serious problem with capacity, and we've been trying to address that with the three municipalities to see what we could do with reducing illicit discharge into the sewer system. What I mean by that is there are some folks that have businesses or residents that have a problem with water in their basements, and rather than take the water and pump it outside and eventually have it go down a storm drain, it's being directly piped into the sewer pipe. And you can see when I look at, I have a meeting there tomorrow morning, for example, to look at the data. When you see a rain event, you can track the sewer's capacities going at the same rate as the rain. So you know you're getting a lot of illicit discharge that way. We also are getting some illicit discharge on the manhole covers that cover the sewer system, in that if they are not raised above grade, and if they are at even grade, and in some cases below grade, rainwater is going into the sewer pipe as well. One of the measures I would like to take for the village of Wappingers Falls, and I've asked the legislative committee to consider legislation that would allow the building inspector to comment on illicit discharge that he may spot while he's doing an inspection for some other purpose. For example, if he's called into a basement to inspect a furnace, and while he's there, whoa, that sump pump is pumping illicit discharge right into the sewer pipe. That's forbidden. And he could write that up. And then that property owner or business owner would be responsible to take corrective action and demonstrate that they had eliminated that problem. So I'm urgently asking the legislative committee here to adopt legislation for a building inspector to have the ability to do that. This is not unlike other municipalities do. It's done in other places. And it's the prime time to do it while you have an official there. So that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to keep it on the agenda every month until I get legislation allowing that to take place.
Do we not have a law already that?
Wait a second, John, do you have that? Because that's my copy. Do you have one? That's from the town. That's their law.
This is actually the document that sparked me into
Yes.
asking for legislation.
I think Ian drafted that.
Yeah, but we already have a law that forbids us from dumping it into to sewer lines now, do we not?
You can say don't do it, but unless you inspect, I believe in something. You have to inspect what you expect. That's how I live my life.
You gotta go in there. And that's the way to get you in the door.
Yeah.
Can I ask you another question? This Martinez on Jordan Street,
Yep.
what happened with,
Okay, let me say this about that. There is a moratorium on anyone hooking into any of the sewer system that's connected to Tri-Muni. What that means is if you want to have a multi-billion-dollar spot somewhere to build housing, you cannot do it because you're not going to get sewer hookup. We have one large project here in the village that they are forbidden to move with their project because of sewer. We have a resident on Jordan Street who cannot, at the moment, I'll know more tomorrow, but at the moment, he's not allowed to hook into the sewer either. But his problem is a little bit more complex in that septic tanks are not allowed in the village of Wappingers Falls,
that's what,
period.
that's what he has.
He's got one. So his argument is, I can't have a septic, but you won't let me hook into the Tri-Muni either. What do I do? I hope to have an answer tomorrow,
And
Trustee
I
Marshall.
spoke with, Mr. Williams, he's a councilman in the city of Poughkeepsie. I spoke to Robert Travis. We've all met out there. I went out. He's got plans. The whole Tri-Muni's ready to give it to him. And all we need to know is what the pipe's elevation is and what's his home elevation. Until we get that, we don't know, because the pitch on a pipe is 1/4 inch per foot. And if it meets that, or if it dumps a little steeper, we can accept that. But until he gets that done, that's what, what's the engineer, Todd Atkinson is waiting for. So I'm supposed to meet with the guy this weekend because he has a set of plans and I would like to see him. I want to help him along. I mean, this guy is struggling.
Okay, that concludes all of the,
Actually, I have two committees that are never seem to be mentioned.
which one do you want?
I have court and I have the Cobbler building. So court, I'm in receipt from the judge, and he's requesting that a Stephanie DeMace continue on as the temporary clerk because the previous one is out on an extended leave period, just so that you know that's been requested by him. Also, so that everybody is updated, I went over with the building inspector over to the Cobbler building because I don't know about anybody else, but I'm tired of it being used as just a billboard. So, when we have events, I'd like to start using that building, and I have to get some bids. It doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot to repairing it. The floor needs to be repaired, and there's a few other things. And what I would like to know, and I would like for the residents to submit what they may want to see that used for. I was thinking for things like events, to have it kind of be like, maybe Wappinger Rises could maybe use it, and to hand out like, maybe maps of all the stores in the village, something like that, just a welcoming type, committee type building. Or we can maybe do even more to the building and rent it out. But I'd like to get some feedback from the community as to what they would like to see have done with that building.
The Cobbler building, by the way, for those of you who don't know where it is, the Shoemaker. It's at the top of West Main Street. Okay,
It appears,
Remember that.
it appears that there are things that have been
I used to
done,
get my shoes done.
but there are holes in the floor that need to be addressed. I don't know. It looks like it may have something to do with the slab. We'd have to find out. I don't know how long ago that may have been, but it looks like the bathroom facilities are fairly new, the vanity and things like that. So that's why I'm saying, I don't know. I want to get an engineer or some carpenters and get some bids to see exactly how much it's going to cost. And I think then maybe, and like I said, I'd like to find out from the residents how they would like to see it, whether they would like to see it rented, whether they would like to see it be, let the high school use it to sell candy. I have no idea. That was before my time. But the problem is that we have a building there going to waste. And the only thing that's used is the big window whenever we have an event. So,
I would recommend,
yeah.
would
I like
recommend
your
with,
idea. I like her idea.
I would recommend with any of these old buildings that are being left or not used, it would behoove the board to have your engineer evaluate it, create a list of priorities of what needs to be done, and a comprehensive plan in order to effectively and efficiently repair the building in a proper order. Because you could fix a floor and there could be structural issues to that.
Well, that's why I
and-
had the
yeah.
building inspector go out with me, because I wanted to see if it was savable, basically. If it was salvageable, and he believes that it would not take a lot to get that building back up and running to be used by something. It's a shame, it's a historic, another historic site, I think.
I thought we already had done all that.
I don't know, I would be perfectly happy to look into it.
It was
and
done
find
under
out.
Matt Alexander. That building was prepared, and they had someone willing to rent it,
Yeah.
who had a podcast business, that he was ready. I had his business card, I spoke to him a half a dozen times, and he got completely screwed around by the village.
Well, there
He was prepared to rent the space, and then he was told, oh, no, he can't have the space, and Matt gave him a complete runaround. But I know for a fact that building was being prepared for him, and then there was a big to-do about it being handicap accessible. So there was a ton of money and a ton of work that was done on that building to make it available to rent. And it sat there vacant now for 10 years.
I just had the building inspector meet with her. It's no more, you don't need the, it's handicap accessible.
They did the work, that's what I'm telling you. It wasn't at the time, and they did that work to make it.
Is, by any chance, would that gentleman be interested anymore? Or
He's probably moved on, that's so long ago.
All right, anything else?
Yes, I have a letter that I want to address that was sent to the clerk by Jackie at Page and Pedals. She has authors come in for book signings from time to time. And of course, there's a parking problem. Always has been, always will be, because how do we make more parking where we can't? All right? The other situation is that she's complaining that there's no striped crosswalk across the state road there. Now, we've already addressed this in the past, and apparently she didn't hear it, so that's why I'm saying it now. We were out there with the state engineers and all the politicians about our big space that's missing on our sidewalk there. And at that time, it was brought up about creating a crosswalk at the top of the hill there. Well, there is one at the top of the hill. It's up by School Street. The situation is that there's no line of sight going around that curve that could safely put in a crosswalk, so it can't be done. So my recommendation for Jackie and for those people is to make their way up the hill if they need to cross over, and to cross over at School Street where we have a lighted, signaled crosswalk. There's not much we can do about creating more space for parking. I wanted to do something with the hillside water tower, but apparently creates an additional problem, so I can't do much with that. And my other recommendation is maybe she could go and contact somebody at the VFW for her special events and pay a fee to the VFW to park cars there for her events. And that would put them on the same side of the street, and they wouldn't have to cross. So that's my recommendation. I just want to let her know if she's watching this, or somebody that knows her can let her know that we have got the letter, we have addressed it, and it's been addressed over and over again. There's not much we can do. It's a state road. Thank you.
I have one more thing. And Ian, I understand where you're coming from, but please understand where I'm coming from. I requested an item be placed on the agenda today, and I was told that it was taken off the agenda, put into executive session, okay? It's my understanding from talking to a past labor council that this vote should be done in public because it's using public money. So I requested it be on the agenda. So don't get mad at me when okay? Because I'd like to make a motion to hire outside separate labor counsel to handle a personnel issue with a limit of $2,000. And that's my motion.
Is there a reason why we can't use our other labor council?
Yes. That we can discuss at executive session as well.
Yeah, if there's a question with regards to the motion, then it would be my recommendation that you have the executive session to discuss the particulars, which would not be appropriate for public, in order to have an informed board
fine.
before you make a vote on the motion.
Okay, so,
Come out.
Correct.
so my motion is to hire labor counsel for no more than 2,000, and that was seconded by Ryan.
So
And
that's
so
a-
we will go further discussion in executive session. Somebody can make the motion to go into executive session to discuss it further?
I'll make the motion.
So what I would recommend is, because we have a motion that's been made and seconded, it requires a vote. So
Okay.
in order to do that, what I would recommend is you withdraw the motion, remake a motion to table it till after the executive session, so we can do what I just said
I really don't want to do that because like I said, it's,
Then you
you
have to
know,
vote on it.
I ran on transparency and I want to be transparent. What? We're using the taxpayer money. The taxpayers have a right to know that we're voting to use their money. So I'm not going to rescind it, so we can just go to a vote. I'm not talking about what it is. That can be discussed at executive session. I can't discuss what it is, but I made the motion. It was seconded.
There would be nothing, you could totally make this after, there's nothing stopping you from remaking the motion. It's only rescinding the motion so you can go to executive
You wanna
session
go to
to
executive
answer the
now?
questions of the board members. But if the board members are
Board
prepared to
members
vote,
are-
then they can vote.
We've discussed this to be
I want a
perfectly
roll
honest.
call vote.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee McCormick.
Aye.
Trustee Chimento.
Aye.
Trustee Marsh.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Vanka.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Carried.
All right, anything else?
I was just
Go to
wondering,
public comment, right?
if you know where the police contract's at?
Gotta open it.
Over a month ago, that we came to an agreement on price,
I
and
can check with Rich.
I thought he was on vacation.
He is on vacation, not that. Email him and he comes back. His son's getting married, so.
Have you heard anything?
No, Steve Byron, our attorney, said that, he wanted us to speak to you guys to see, but it's, what's your attorney's name?
What's that?
What's your attorney's name?
Rich Zuckerman.
Rich, so if he's not around, then that would explain.
Yeah,
The way there
I
was
know his
one
son was
thing
getting
about-
married, so.
There was some dispute over who would be getting retro, who would not be getting retro, and we wanted to clear that up. That was the only thing.
Yeah, I'll email tomorrow and we'll see if we can.
I know what it was supposed to say, only the officers that stayed with us during that time.
Right, I think they wanted it to be that the full-timers that left, Burrell and Gino, would still be entitled to retro. Anybody else who left would not.
Can we have one meeting here, please?
I'll email. Anybody else?
Yeah, we have Brenda here, you
The
know.
residents of Earthland here, other parts of the village, we would just like to know what kind of progress is being made about the problem of the bats.
So when I left your house a couple weeks ago, I was there with you. We stopped by. I stopped and seen Trustee Marshall And we've seen Max, so I don't know the outcome after that. You trustee Marshall?
Well,
I know we are looking at another,
is that on Mizzier, the 2 brick houses?
yeah, the 2 brick houses.
Well, that's not my house, I'm on Prospect. If they make it to my house, then
We were looking at another piece of he's supposed to go check out another piece of property where
Yeah.
they might be coming from.
Yes, okay, Prospect, so this is right here.
Yeah,
We think it's coming, we went into the nursing home
they didn't find
to
anything.
look over, to see if we could see where there's supposedly chickens in there and all kinds of stuff. So if that's the case, then that might be where it's coming from. But I'm talking with Max. Can you hear me?
yeah, I'm just,
I'm-
did you say disposing chickens?
Well, I hear the rumor that there's chickens in there.
Oh,
So if there is, then they're feeding
Not
them.
the nursing home.
It's not the nursing
oh,
home.
I thought we were talking about the nursing home.
No. We drove into the nursing home to get a view over the neighbor's yard. Because I don't know what legal action we have to go on the guy's property. So what we did is we tried to look, and now Max is gonna send him a order to Remini to fix his yard up because it's bad.
Yeah.
Is this house on South Avenue?
Yes,
Okay.
you probably have an idea, right?
Also, Mayor, we did something for the mice on the road. Is there any way Brenda can get reimbursed for her, money she spent to get rid of her rats?
You know,
Look at it.
chickens aren't gonna be bringing rats every year.
No, but it's
Does the person always have chickens?
Yeah.
he's living back there in a trailer. It's
Yeah.
On a
behind,
bus.
But this has been.
he's
this has
living
been-
in a bus.
This has been almost every year though.
Well, he's been there and it's not a clean house.
Yeah.
So they're both in a nursing home. We're trying to
Yeah,
look,
I know where it is.
yeah, we're trying to look to get on the property to do more than what we can.
It might be a second stop for the rats. Like they're spreading their territory out further. And I don't want the village to be known for,
Yeah.
you know, I think it's a beautiful village. People try to keep their property, it's nice.
Anybody else? Public?
Question and a comment?
Sure.
Regarding the forensic audit, I understand the intent is to find out where the money is going. Is there any, at this time, evidence of any malfeasance of any sort?
No,
No,
Okay, so there's no malfeasance? just
none that we
confirm the
know,
number.
just a point of information so the board can work on the same foot. That's it.
Okay. And trustee Manca, the cowboy shop was looked at in great detail. I've looked at it in the past, but I can give any assistance, please feel free to reach out.
I appreciate that, thank you so much.
Anybody else?
I have a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make the move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Can I just ask, is there anything in executive that's going to be, that you're gonna come out and vote on? Or is there nothing?
The purpose of the executive session, to my knowledge, is there's legal advice with regards to the prosecutions in the village. No vote.
I don't know if it was-